On July 6, 2022, the Georgia Guidestones were partially destroyed by an explosion. Through this prophecy, God has proclaimed that He's responsible for that explosion. He made the explosion happen because the Guidestones were a shrine for the 10 satanic commandments, put in place to mock God's 10 commandments from the Bible. He declared that they would not stand. He further stated that the explosion was one of the early movements of His hand to eliminate the darkness that permeates the world. On July 6, 2022, the Guidestones suffered an ignominious end. They were completely destroyed by bulldozers shortly after the explosion damage happened, and were removed from the land. But, how did this demonic monument come to be? Why did God decide that He needed to destroy it? First, let's take a look at how the monument came about. The history of the Georgia Guidestones is somewhat sketchy, but what is known is that in June 1979, a man using the pseudonym Robert C. Christian, asked the Elberton Granite Company of Elberton, Georgia to build a granite monument that would rival England's Stonehenge. He said it was commissioned by a small group of loyal Americans. He used his pseudonym as a reference to Christianity, although it was later discovered that his real name was Herbert H. Kirsten, an Iowa physician who died in 2005. Christian further said that while Stonehenge was an impressive monument, it had no message to communicate. He and his constituents wanted the American Stonehenge to have very specific messages for humanity, similar, he claimed, to God's 10 Commandments given to Moses on Mount Sinai. On March 22, 1980, the completed monument, located on a tract of land in Elberton County, Georgia, was unveiled to an audience of about 200 to 300 people. The master of ceremonies for the unveiling read a message to the audience, which stated something akin to, "In order to avoid debate, we, the sponsors of the Georgia Guidestones, have a simple message for human beings, now and for the future. We believe our precepts are sound, and they must stand on their own merits." The monument stones contain 10 guidelines which can clearly be described as Satan's 10 commandments. 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. 2. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. 3. Unite humanity with a living new language. 4. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. 9. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And 10. Be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature. Wow! Talk about your globalist pipe dream claptrap. These guidelines are a mishmash of one world government, secular, socialist, communist, eugenics, and demonic goals. 500 million people. Really? Just how were these demonic despots planning to reduce human population from over 8 billion people to 500 million? It would require a holocaust of epic proportions. That's why on July 6, 2022, in the midst of their COVID pandemic foray, God destroyed the satanic Georgia Guidestones with an impressive burst of His living light energy. Video cameras at the site captured the explosion as it occurred. Government agencies and the secular press immediately rushed to claim that the explosion was from a bomb, without providing any information about the type of bomb used. Then the investigators immediately rushed to demolish the monument completely before conducting a thorough forensic investigation. They also provided additional video footage of someone running towards the monument and placing what appears to be a black bag at the bottom of the monument, and another of a car speeding away from the site. Curiously though, the video of the person running does not contain a timestamp, even though it was captured by the same camera that memorialized the explosion, which did have a timestamp. Why was the timestamp of the video capturing the alleged perpetrator omitted? The video could have been from any time and on any date. Why? Because the cover-up was already underway. Since then, the investigation has gone cold. No suspects. No identification of the explosives used. No updates. Nada. Then, in June 2024, the Divine asked that a closer look at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's video of the explosion be done. He declared prophetically that the explosion was his handiwork. An act of God. He pointed to the bright cloud of light visible in the upper left of the video frame that appeared before the explosion occurred, and disappeared before the explosion finished. The light cloud intensity increased over a 4 to 5 second time span, and created an intense light burst that was coincident with the explosion. A zoom-in close-up view of the light cloud shows just how intense and powerful the light cloud energy was. The light cloud was visible before the explosion, and was a significant distance away from the Guidestones. The clear visual evidence shows that this explosion wasn't created by explosive charges. Why was that powerful burst of light, which was captured on video, never mentioned by investigators or the press? Naysayers might suggest that it's a reflection. But, the satellite map image of the Guidestones site shows no facility that could have created a reflection like that. It occurred over a wooded area, in the midst of a wide open field. Also, a reflection would not be seen before the explosion occurred and would not increase in intensity as the explosion started. The bright light cloud was not of a natural origin. God says, "This is my hand, destroying the evil intent of the enemy." He used his living light energy to destroy the Satanic Commandments monument. It's certainly not the first time God has used his power on earth, since the days of Moses and Jesus, but it's one of the few times he has pointed to such an event as being from his hand. Was this event as monumental as the parting of the Red Sea or the burning bush on Mount Sinai? Certainly. But God will ultimately let us know where this event stands among the pantheon of his earthly acts. It sure was impressive though, wasn't it? What is clear is that it was an early indication of God's hand at work on earth in this time, which continues to this very day. He started by destroying the 10 Satanic Commandments display, that mocked his 10 Commandments, given to Moses on Mount Sinai long ago. God will not be mocked. We'll look back to this seminal event as the beginning of God's destruction of this latest incarnation of Satan's attempt to rebel against him. It also is an answer for those that ask, when, oh when, will God show us a display of his might? He already has. Will he do more? He'll let us know. With it, he is also giving mankind another chance to get it right, and to prepare the way for the kingdom realm on earth. Amen.